You're welcome to the Top Matters Health Corner. In this edition, as we said earlier on in the introductory post, we are looking at vaginal discharge, the causes, and then the presentation of vaginal discharge. But before we go into the talk itself, let's have a look at what the vagina is, how it is molded, and the major roles or the functions of the vagina in the female reproductive system. By way of simple basic scientific lessons, the vagina is one of the most important organs in the female reproductive system, and it is a canal or a tube located between the vulva and the end of the uterus, or what we call the cervix. So if you are looking at the exact location of the vagina, then you have to look at just in front of the uterus, that is right at the cervix to the vulva. Just after the vulva, that space is what we call the vagina. It is a very muscular organ, and it is supplied with a lot of nerves and muscles such that it should be able to expand to various lengths. And the vagina has been created or has been molded in such a way that it should be able to cleanse itself, and there is no need for any other person to have any external cleansing agent added to it. So it is naturally something that God has made it that it should be able to cleanse itself. But the vagina normally is kept moist because normally it has glands that produces this moist lubricants that keeps it moist in nature. And time in and out, when you have little tissues and stuff from the orifice or from the lining of the vagina which are wearing off, then this moist nature will bring them out of the body by way of the discharge that we see. So clearly speaking, the discharges that you see coming from the vagina, some are not things that are abnormal. So what I have just said indicates that this discharge is just a physiological one that needs not to be alarmed. But what role does the vagina play in the female reproductive system? Very basic. Anyone who hears of the vagina knows that the next organ that you can think about is a relationship with the penis. That is to say that the vagina is the main organ for sexual intercourse in a female. So, for penetrative sexual intercourse, God designed the vagina for the penis and nothing more, nothing less. So, there is some form of sexual pleasure that you get from there. Secondly, because of the canal nature of it and its connection to the womb, it serves as the main passageway of the baby out of the body in a spontaneous vaginal delivery. Not only that, but also the vagina is such that when the lining of the womb shears off its tissues in the form of the menstrual flow or bladder will come out, they have to pass through the vagina before they come out. So we say that the vagina is also meant for menstruation. That is, it has a role to play in menstruation. So clearly speaking, it tells you that the vagina is very, very, very important an organ in the female reproductive system. But the interesting thing about the vagina is that it has a host of fungi and bacteria or microorganisms that keeps it very, very healthy. And there is no need for any other person to move in there to say that I am going to keep the vagina healthy. These microorganisms ensure that basically we refer to them as the normal flora. There are a lot of fungi, there are a lot of bacteria. For example, we have the lactobacillus bacteria there. You also have the fungi known that Candida albicans. That particular fungus is responsible for the causing of candidiasis. But naturally, it is a normal flora in the vagina, and it is meant to protect the health status of the vagina. But the thing that happens is that when the balance of these microorganisms is distorted as a result of you putting your hands in there that you are going to wash, or as a result of any other foreign thing that goes inside, the vagina will naturally resist it and it resists it by way of producing secretions or discharges to bring out the foreign things out of it. These foreign things that come by way of the discharges and everything put together is what we call vaginal discharge. Therefore, when we talk about vaginal discharge, we are looking at any fluid that comes out of the vagina. But there are numerous forms and types of the discharges that come out of the vagina. That is what we are going to be looking at in our next episode. Thank you very much for joining. Do stay tuned as we look through this talk on vaginal discharge. Share, like, and comment.